Statistical terms. From time to time, I will use statistics to support arguments and ideas presented here, or to rebuke counter-arguments. The average, or mean, of a data set or group is found by simply adding all values in a gathered data set, then dividing them. The mean is useful to find the equal distribution among all that is included in the data set, but keep in mind, the total of values may not be distributed equally among the individuals in the group. For example, if in a group of 10, there are 9 with values of $1, and 1 with a value of $10, then the total value is $11, and the mean of this group is $1.1. The median is the middle value in a group of values, when the values are ordered from least to greatest. And it is found by dividing the total value by 2. For example, in the same group of 10, where 9 have $1 and 1 has $10, the median is $5. The mode is the value that occurs the most in a group. In the same group, the mode is found by simply counting each instance of the equal, or similar, individual values, and finding which has the most instances in the group. Clearly, in this group, $1 has more instances than $10, so $1 is the mode. Some common assumptions. This text generally assumes personal qualities, lifestyles, and political and social conditions that may not apply to all readers. These assumptions include active participation in modern society, living in a community, village, town, or city, living in relative and reasonable freedom, having monetary income from work, being able to purchase goods and real estate property without non-monetary restrictions, not being severely physically or mentally disabled, being able to learn and perform technical work, among others. I solemnly recognize that not all readers will fall into each of the above assumptions and categories. Thus, these and other assumptions are only made for the sake of more conveniently delivering the content on this text. Many other assumptions are likely made in this text, some surely unconsciously, others knowingly. And, although the inclusion of all readers is of highest importance to me personally, I recognize that it is impractical to include many personal scenarios. I apologize in advance for any failures of inclusion, but I shall make an attempt to remind the reader of these assumptions and my equal appreciation for those that don't fully satisfy those assumptions. Many of the areas of this book assume that the reader is a participant of modern society. I understand this is not the case for all readers. Those living in relative isolation, or in remote villages, may still benefit from most of the concepts discussed here. Also, I generally assume that the reader has sufficient personal, social, and physical freedom to achieve all or most of the endeavors here offered. I recognize that, unfortunately, many types of freedoms are not present, nor guaranteed, for everyone and in every part of the globe. Predicaments, and other factors, often limit or deny the freedoms that are required to engage in the lifestyle here prescribed. But, the reader may still pursue many of the concepts here described, to whichever extent their circumstances allow. Or, the reader may gain knowledge and ideas for a planned, expected, or possible future. In fact, the knowledge to be gained and expanded upon, with this text, is a significant action to take and share under limited freedom. With this in mind, apart from intaking the information, no additional action is expected from any reader who may not be free. Readers may or may not be able to produce an income from work. Or, some may not produce sufficient income. I recognize that many throughout the world live with severely limited or no income possibilities. I understand that many can't work due to a variety of reasons, while others can't gain an adequate income for a variety of other factors. For that, I will strive to include some alternatives to using money for the many methods and resources here prescribed for living off the grid. Those free alternatives may be few, even within the off-grid context, given the widespread use of monetary systems. But, low initial investment, and low maintenance costs, will be central themes in most ideas forwarded here. Here, it is also often assumed that people may purchase all or most materials, goods, property, or resources needed to live off the grid. I recognize that using money may not be possible, or be limited to some extent, for many people in many areas around the world. There may also be restrictions on access for many goods and resources for many reasons, including oppression, war and conflict, racism, sectarianism, nationalism, among other factors. Unfortunately, this is the world many of us live in. Again, this text will offer many alternatives to purchasing. As an argument for this, the Earth offers its large supply of raw materials to everyone for free. But, as we know, resources have been taken over and hoarded by countless generations of savage mentalities. However, even in our time of control, it is often difficult for greedy individuals, institutions, or governments to keep tabs on all of their so-called possessions. So, with some knowledge and skill, you may build many things free of charge using raw materials or existing finished products. Many of these useful manufactured products will be inevitably disposed by other people. Dumpsters and back areas of industries the world over are overfilled with usable materials, goods, and technologies. For example, fresh food and clean water is often disposed of by supermarkets and restaurants in much of the industrial world. Here, we'll include those sources of goods in solidarity with those that have no, or limited access, to the monetary system. I recognize that, even here where I live, in the US, access to certain plots of land, and homes in certain neighborhoods are limited, even denied, to many individuals. Discrimination is often hidden by whisperous recommendations, and veiled by economic requirements, among others. And these routinely occur in housing, land ownership, and other property purchases, right here and today in America. Many of readers will likely be what many of us consider to be disabled. Some people, I clearly recognize, have special physical and mental needs and limitations, some considered severe. And, as many of the ideas and recommendations given here require some physical and mental effort, many a reader may feel unrecognized. But, be assured that recognized you are, and that I shall try to include such special circumstances when possible. And, I may, here and there, recommend help and guidance by willing and nearby helpers, to aid to perform and achieve many of the prescriptions here given. Alternative options that consider those with low strength, skill, and physical abilities, will also be given here, as effective content delivery allows. Some other assumptions, in this text, require moderate degrees of technical knowledge. This knowledge that may be unavailable or unreachable to some individuals for a variety of reasons. Perhaps those with limited internet reach or educational resources. But, help by others with current knowledge, or ability to gain such knowledge or resources, is hereby recommended. Knowledge, and some skills, in mechanics, construction, structures, materials, electricity, electronics, and computers, is assumed in many concepts forwarded here. I understand such skills may not have been attained by the reader, at least not yet. In such cases, I recommend seeking such skill, knowledge, or guidance as soon as possible. This is for the sake of safety for the user and those around, and for the benefit of the reader in her or his endeavor in the off-grid lifestyle. I must say that death and injury may result due to explosions, fires, and electrocutions in direct consequence to the lack of knowledge and skill in many of the off-grid undertakings here described. I implore you get the relevant knowledge, skill, and permitting when required, before attempting to use, install, assemble, or otherwise handle any technology or equipment that may be dangerous in any way. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please look for the next episode soon. And, please ensure you share this with your friends and family. And, please like this content, and subscribe as a sign of support, and for me to continue to provide this type of content to more people like you. Written by Hector Vladimir. May 2023. Georgia, USA.